Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
Hey, what's happening, ladies and gents? Welcome to another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it is politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. Look, we're diving deep and keeping it real, so please do me a favor. Kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friend, on today's conversation, I want to continue on speaking about what we left off on the last episode, discussing who can the Democrats now rely on, who can they look as their new leader who can help bring the party back to somewhat of a prominent status. And I mean as far as currently on the federal level, right? Who does, and really just on the national level, who does the Democrats have to follow behind and say, hey, look, this is the person we need to help lead us to victory, because we just are struggling to find that person. We're struggling to find the right message. We're struggling to find the right strategy. Right now we are struggling. So I read a list of names last time, or at least a list that The Hill had put together, top 10 contenders, Democratic contenders for 2028. And let me go and I'll follow back on, or I'll kind of give you a little rewind of those names we spoke about on the last show. In addition to that, what else do we have on the lineup today? Corporations of Public Broadcasting, which funds NPR and PBS, says it will end operations within the next months after federal budget cuts. So what is this going to be for public broadcasting media? What's next for them? And so we'll talk about that later on in the show. And also I want to share my thoughts on this American Eagle controversy. I don't know if y'all have been following up, but American Eagle recently had American Eagle, not American Idol, American Eagle, the clothing brand, had a recent campaign that featured famous actress Sydney Sweeney, and it received a lot of backlash. It received a lot of backlash, more from the left, and I want to share my take on this. I really do. It might, a while back I started speaking on the meaning. What is what does the word woke mean to you all? And so I want to talk about this story here and so much more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. As always, thank you so much for taking 1 hour of your time to tune in to yet another great episode here on the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin, coming to you on this wonderful evening. For those who happen to be streaming us right now on YouTube, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with family. I truly appreciate it. If you can do so, we are available on multiple platforms, but the first platform I would like to acknowledge is our YouTube channel. You can stream us if you prefer to watch the show. You can stream us on YouTube, as well as you can also stream us on the GOATverse TV network. You can stream us on the GOATverse TV network. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please do so. It is free. It's available to download the app. You can download on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire TV. It's available on those platforms. And please, support. You can check my show, the Arrington Gavin Show, on demand, and so many other great programs on Goldverse TV. In addition to that, you can tune into the program. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Okay, all major podcast platforms, and then you can also listen to us on the radio airwaves. You can, if you happen to be tuning into us probably right now in the New Orleans area by way of WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 7 p.m. Central Time, only on WBOK 1230 AM. Again, what New Orleans is talking about. And then we're going to move it on all the way to the Metro Atlanta region. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Again, that is WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can, those are the platforms you can tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. And yeah, we're continue to grow as always, my friends. We are a growing show, and we want to keep that message of great conversation, fun, as well as informative content. We want to keep that momentum going. So as we continue on the convo, let me go ahead and bring on our fun fact of the day. That's a little tradition we love to do here on the Arrington Gavin Show. So today's fun fact: did you all know that? There we go. Did you know that Will Smith's "Getting Jiggy with It" or was originally rejected by several producers? It later went on to win a Grammy. I believe that was his first Grammy. And Will Smith, set aside from having quite a successful music career, he then went on to have a spectacular acting career, which really you can say is way much larger than his music career. I know recently he's tried to make a comeback with new music and new sound, new attitude and all that good stuff. But he has since been, I think, kind of the laughing stock or the go-to joke on social media. A lot of folks are joking with him, saying, he might be going through like somewhat of a midlife crisis, trying to stay with the times, trying to be young, coming at as this, rapper, this and any other. And to me, I feel like it's, everybody has their own different sound, different vibe, different style, a different side of humor. I think Will is being himself. I wish him nothing but the success and with his new music. But I will say he is a lot better actor and entertainer than he is probably a rapper, or at least compared to some of the artists today. But yeah, I just felt like giving you that fun fact. And also just because he had a song that he knew was an award-winning hit, but so many other folks rejected him. This is a testimony to all you listeners and viewers out there that have a dream that you will love to pursue, whether that's in music, business, you have some, you want to open up a restaurant, anything. If you have a concept that you would love to pursue, and so many folks has rejected you, saying, oh, it will never work, this and that and the other, I'm telling you, do not give up on your dream, because no one else can tell you how to pursue or how to live your dream. And no one can tell you that, this is not going to work, so you should quit while you're either still on top, or you should quit now before you get embarrassed. Man, bump that. Continue to pursue, work hard, receive the criticism, right? Sometimes your haters can always be your motivators. And on top of that too, not all people that might give you that criticism is doing so to bring you down. Some, they might be just giving you some form of just help that you can say, okay, wait a minute, I'm a listen in what they told me. Let me put it to papers. Let me try and correct what the issue is, and then I'll come back and have my product even bigger and better. So look, several producers rejected the song. Several people is probably rejecting your dream, but all I'm saying is continue to pursue. Do not give up. Keep on getting up from those falls, from those mistakes, and continue to pursue. Because, like I said, no one can tell you how to live your dream. That's my 2 cents right there. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have a lot more here on the Arrington Gavin Show in store for you. So don't go anywhere. You are tuning into the Arrington Gavin Show.
Every man has a story to tell. Your ambitions, your achievements, your legacy. Your suit should reflect that story, crafted precisely, designed for impact, and tailored exclusively for you. We work with only the finest fabrics, luxurious wools, silk, linen, and blends from world-renowned mills in Italy, the UK, and India. These fabrics are the foundation of custom suits that exude elegance and stand the test of time. But a suit isn't just about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about confidence, and it all starts with you. When you work with me, you'll receive a personalized consultation, whether in person or over Zoom. Together, we'll explore your vision and discuss your needs, and we're gonna bring your ideas to life. My journey as a designer includes apprenticing under New York-based designer Clavon Leonard, showcasing collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria Fashion Week, and the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. That experience is what we bring to every suit we create, from weddings to corporate events and everything in between. We specialize in crafting one-of-a-kind suits for life's most significant moments. Dapper Luke has been recognized as one of Baltimore's best menswear in 2023, and I was honored to be one of the 10 designers selected for the prestigious Baltimore Met Gala. With over 900 satisfied clients, we proudly serve Virginia Beach and Baltimore, bringing world-class designs to these incredible communities. We don't just make suits, we craft confidence. Your suit will fit your body, your style, and it will tell your story. Book your free online personal consultation today. Visit www.dapperluke.com.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new Goat Verse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. As I was speaking earlier, I had continued on the topic of who will or who can the Democrats stand behind and let them lead the left into a party where it could gain some momentum. It can go back to being the prominent political party that it was some years ago. Who can they rely on next? Who can they point to? Who can they say, okay, this is the person we need to have lead the charge? Now, my issue with the left, my issue with the Democrats is that when you come across folks that the people stand behind, that the people start to consider saying, hey, look, I really like this person. I think the Democrats should stand behind this person. And I'm liking their policy that they're bringing to the table. I'm liking their attitude. I'm liking their relatability. I'm liking that toughness. I'm loving that toughness. For example, Zohran Mamdani. Now, Zohran Mamdani is the mayoral candidate for New York City. He is the Democratic nominee, which means the Democrats in New York City voted for him. They nominated him. They loved what they saw in this 33-year-old local elected official. They said we want to see him lead this city. He beat a former governor, Andrew Cuomo. When you beat a governor, doesn't that say something, y'all? Doesn't that say something? And now you're seeing like the Democratic elites biting their tongue to try and stand behind him because they look at him as a bit too progressive, right? They're like, I don't know about any. I mean, it took a while before Congresswoman James Clyburn or Jim Clyburn. No, yeah, James Clyburn. You have, I don't know if Hakeem Jeffries has really spoken too much about Zoran. He's been kind of iffy back and forth, in my opinion, but most likely he will stand behind because he is the Democratic nominee. Your previous, the one of your original, well, here's the thing. Andrew Cuomo is still a Democrat, even though he's running as an independent. He's still a Democrat. He just knows the way the system works. He can't run as a Democrat because he lost the nomination. So he's now running as an independent. So is the incumbent candidate, the current mayor Mayor Eric Adams. He is running as a independent, which personally I think he was getting tired of the left anyway, because he didn't like the fact when there was charges being brought against him, there was no support for him at all. It was just, okay, he got to go, and he doesn't like that. And then on top of that too, they didn't like the fact that he was a bit more, he was open to criticize his own party, and he was siding with the right in some occasions, which in all honesty, I think candidates, as long as they're doing stuff that's beneficial for the people, then that's my focus, is the people. I could care less on which party they align with. It's about the people. Now, Eric Adams was showing a little bit too much kindness, in my opinion, to the president, who I'm not a fan of. I mean, I don't know if y'all ever listened or watched the show, but I'm not a fan of. And so I can see why the Democratic Party really wouldn't, they weren't disappointed on losing Eric Adams, right? But when I read you this list of folks, like a AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she is a likable person to Democratic voters. Preferably young people enjoy an AOC. Young people is the future, y'all. Young people is what the Democrats, I believe, are struggling to try and bring in, and some of them to also, it's hard for them to keep Democrats. I mean, to keep young people. There's a quite large number of young people that are leaning right, but I think those are more white males. And I don't see a lot of young black people leaning more to the right. They might be leaning more independent, but they're not leaning more to the right. But they're leaning more independent because why? The left is just, they're not making any sense. They are not, in my opinion, listening. Again, I go back to the people. When the people say one thing, they're saying we would love to see this and that. The Democrats do the opposite. When you see the Democrats having these contenders coming up to the plate that a lot of folks are interested in hearing and want to see them put more of a showcase or more of a focus on, those who are in charge in the left, they don't follow behind that person. They keep that person on the back burners, or they just keep that person aside and bring on somebody who say, okay, this person's been waiting a long time to lead the way. So let's, like Hakeem, come on, Hakeem. Let's give it to Hakeem. No. If y'all are trying to win, then have a winning strategy and not a losing strategy. AOC is one of them, who, like I said, is a fan favorite to some. I wouldn't say presidential ready, but she is a prominent figure in the Democratic Party. She doesn't hold back her tongue. She has a great story when she first got elected into office. And that was something that a lot of folks could relate to because she was like an everyday American. She wasn't the typical, oh, I started the company. I was a multimillionaire before I became, I ran into office. No, I was somebody that was a hard ass worker. And I now am an elected official, a federal elected official, doing what's great for my community. Perfect, right? Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, again, very well respected, no holds bar kind of guy, not scared to enter into the lion's den. Okay, I can see that. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, I can see her working in the White House, but I can't. I'm going to say to see her as she might be a presidential candidate, but I don't think she would win an election. For one, you have to look at the outline America, y'all. Let's do this. Let's outline America. Does America want to see a woman, any woman in a high leadership role? If you are a good person and you want to see change and you want to continue to see progression in America, you would say absolutely yes. I can see a woman leading I see women leading companies. I see women owning sports organizations. I see women being on top of a lot of stuff. The sad thing is the overall America doesn't want to see a woman in office. I mean, we've had how many times have you seen women run for president of the United States? I mean, Kamala made it the closest, but it was just so much that she was put in a bad position because, for one, there should have been a primary. There should have been a primary in a Democratic primary instead of just immediately just putting her in that position as the nominee. Yes, I can see her running for office because she was the incumbent VP. But the Democratic Party really strategized and played their cards completely wrong in the last election. That being said, I think their days are long gone as far as having a female running for or a female president. And I hate to say it like that, but I just think Kamala brought a lot of great momentum, a lot of great press, but I don't think it helped future women to run for president just for right now. Maybe I'm not saying do not, but I just think it might have hurt some of that momentum, in my opinion. So in that, I say, good luck, Governor Whitmer, but I don't think no, there's not going to be a chance for you to win a presidential race. But I do think I can see her working in the White House for a role, maybe Secretary of State, possibly. Governor Gavin Newsom, likable guy, but I think it's just hard looking at his resume. You're coming from California, the state of California. You led, or you are the leader of the state of California. Last time I checked, state of California has a lot of issues going on. So what makes you think it's time that you should run for president of the United States? What makes you think, okay, it's time for you to lead a country? I'm not sure about that. Would he be a good contender? Possibly, because he's already great when it comes to debating. But winning a presidential seat is not always about who's the best debater. It's about who the people can really put their trust and faith in. And could they put their faith in a guy who leads a state that has has issues when it comes to homelessness, the wildfires. I know, and he can't he can't help the way those wildfires work, but homelessness is one. Cost of living out there, I mean, it's a lot happening in California that it's like, I've been to California, it's I it's I but it's a lot of hype for me, in my opinion. Yes, it's beautiful scenery, great eateries, this and then the other, but too damn expensive. Let's move it on. Maryland Governor Wes Moore, hands down, he's in my top 3 easy. He's in my top 3. Would I say number 1? I want to see him succeed one more term as governor in Maryland. Then let's see where it takes him from there. But he is sharp. He is extremely sharp, extremely intelligent, very likable. I had the opportunity to meet him once at a function. I mean, just truly a cool dude. He has that swagger because he's athletic. He's, like I said, he has that swag, that presidential swag that you first saw when you saw Obama. Like he has his own swag, and he's not scared to go head to head with opposing sides, and he's not scared to work along with the opposing side as well. So he's right now, I will say, number 1. Vice President Kamala Harris, she recently shared that she has no pursuit of running for anything. She just recently, I think, launched a memoir. And on top of that, when I mean that she doesn't plan on running for anything, there was rumors that she might be running for governor of the state of California. She said no. So personally, I think Kamala Harris is done with politics. I think she is. I think the election, took a toll on her. Excuse me. Being a vice president alone was a lot of work, especially in that, in the Biden administration, because there were so many questions that she was being asked, right? Is the president in his right state of mind? How is this and the other? Is this and like, it's a lot, especially being the first black, or excuse me, the first woman of color ever elected to the vice president, ever to become a vice president. So it was a lot. It was a lot that she's continuing to it's a lot that she had to deal with during that period. So I do not think she will be I don't think she will be pursuing any office anytime soon. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, no, not at all. President, no. He was good as governor, and he's after he finishes his governor's role, he's probably just a good person to keep donor dollars coming into the Democratic Party, and just because I mean he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire, and you rarely have a lot of billionaires that are Democrats or that strong left leaning. Let's see. Pete Buttigieg is definitely a good contender. Young, extremely intelligent, speaks on all the platforms. He's very likable to young people. He's been on a lot of the podcast platforms. It will definitely be a first for America if he pursues again running for president, and if he wins, because he'll be the first openly gay. It'll be the first time we have an openly gay person in the White House, and he's married, so that'll be he won't. Well, his husband won't be the second. Well, hold on. Yeah, he will be the first. He will be the first ever first husband. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of history to mark during that time. But again, you have to look at the overall. Like, will America be ready for that? Will America as a whole be ready for that? And that's the sad part about America, because I look at everything as growth when it comes to first ever this, first ever that. Sometimes I like it and I dislike it at the same time, because I'm like, okay, in 2025 or 2028, why are we witnessing the first ever this, right? We shouldn't have to continue to say first ever that, first ever this, first ever that. No, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to, because stuff like that should have already been done years and years ago. But that just shows the progression, how much work America has to do, and how much growing up we have to do. Last two people, former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel. He worked in the Obama administration. He's been very vocal about how the Democratic Party has been working lately. I respect that, because it hasn't been a lot of known folks in the left that has criticized their own party. They sometimes will start to point the fingers on the opposition, but now it's like, okay, you have to take some ownership in yourself. So Rahm Emanuel, president, possibly. He might be a wild card. Lastly, Stephen A. Smith, absolutely not. Now, I'm a huge Stephen A. Smith fan, but Stephen A. Smith says he doesn't want to run for president. I think Stephen A. Smith wants to do anything to help build up his brand. Personally, I think he does anything for his brand. Do I think he should run for president? Absolutely not. I think he's better off doing what he's doing, just like how myself, being a critic, being a talker. That's where his lane, that's where his bread and butter, that's where he's true. That's his true gift. His true gift and calling is analyzing, criticizing, calling people out. Like, that's his lane. Him leading a whole flipping nation, absolutely not. Stephen A. Smith hasn't even ran for HOA president. So why would he want to, nor has I think he ever run for class president. He does not need to run for president of the United States. This is what happens where you get a reality star who literally takes the biggest gamble of his life, runs for president of the United States, wins, and then wins again. Like, I do respect folks that has a system saying, hey, look, I was a former council member, and then I ran for a state rep, a state elected office. Now I'm running for that I respect. But when you go from reality TV star straight to president, or if you go from sports journalist straight to presidency, I don't like. Now, there is a newcomer that has made some headlines. Gentleman by the name of James Tellerico. James Tellerico is a state house representative in Texas. He was recently on the Joe Rogan show, and let me see if I can pull up this clip of him. Let's see here. See if I got it. Let me pull this up for you guys. He was on the Joe Rogan show, or Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe really enjoyed not just a conversation, but he even said, dude, you might need to run for office. Let me see if I can pull up this soundbite for you all. And here's the thing. Joe Rogan is starting to have egg on his face, because he realizes that he fumbled the bag. Well, probably not literally, because his bag has continued to overflow, but he made a mistake by endorsing Donald Trump. And he's starting to realize that, because a lot of stuff that he's seen has been done in this administration. It's like, wow, I didn't vote for this. But no one can tell you nothing, Joe. No one can tell you nothing, because what you did was you were scared, and you listened to your boss, Dana White, who happens to be a good friend and supporter of Donald Trump. And listen, because of your employer, you said, let me go ahead and publicly endorse Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is a guy that's basically endorsed by the UFC. He's there at every single event that you're going to have a UFC match, I think, next year at the White House, in the White House lawn. I mean, it's so much hot garbage. I can't even, I can't. But going back to this state rep, James Tallarico, 36 years old, Democrat out of Texas, and he really catches Joe Rogan's attention with the just with his policies, his beliefs, how he how he operates and things like that. And look, again, Texas is a red state. So it's interesting hearing somebody at this age be like, whoa. And even Joe Rogan's like, you should think about running for president. I'm like, whoa, that's a big push right there, because Joe Rogan has the audience. He has the audience. So let me go ahead and play you the soundbite real quick, and we'll talk on the other side.
Politics now less as left versus right and much more as top versus bottom.
Yeah.
Because
You're right.
I just see how we are all pitted against each other.
Mhm.
And I mean literally.
Sure.
These social media platforms, they only get clicks when there's conflict.
Mhm.
Right? They don't get clicks when we're having a conversation, when we're understanding each other.
Right.
That doesn't get anybody any profit.
Right.
And so the Rupert Murdochs of the world, the cable news networks, the social media platforms, the Zuckerbergs and Musks, these platforms are literally tearing us apart.
You're onto something. I think what you're saying is absolutely true, though, that it's not us versus them. It's the top versus the bottom.
And I don't know if everyone is fully awake to that we're getting played.
I don't think people are. And I think you saying it is very important.
If we recognize that we have far more in common than the stuff that divides us, then that's a threat to their power. It's a threat to their wealth.
Mm.
That unity, that loving your enemy is not just morally good. It's not just idealistic. It is good strategic advice.
That's part of the problem, is that the people that are in power want to stay in power. And the best way to stay in power is to enrich the other people around you that are like you, and create laws and create a structure that allows you to maintain ridiculous wealth.
Yep.
And suppress competition.
And divide everyone to keep them distracted. This is my personal, like, what happens if we actually loved our enemies, if we rebuilt these relationships? Like, who could we take on if we did it together? Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and progressives. I think of politics now.
I mean, first of all, what have I been saying since day one here on the show, y'all? We all probably agree on 80% of things, yet we let the 20% take over and cause all this division and chaos and whatever. And we have folks like the MAGA movement that continues to add more division. We have folks on the right and folks on the left that adds more fuel to that pile and continues to divide us, rather than talking on common sense politics. They talk too much on party politics. And I'm gonna tell you something. This guy might be onto something, because for one, he's a state representative. Now, we've had candidates, and we've had also state elected officials on this show before. A state rep or a delegate, that is a highly respected position, but it's a state position. So you obviously have your city politics, your city council, commissioners, sheriffs, mayors, boom. Then you go up a notch, you go to state rep or state senator, right? You have a state house, and then you have a state senate. So this man is a state rep in Texas, a red state. He is, just to give you a little background of him, he is a educator. Let's see here, teaching 6th grade English. He became an executive director of Reason Mind, a Texas nonprofit focusing on bringing technology to low-income classrooms. Again, community activism work, which is very needed. Technology in low-income areas. He was first elected into office in 2018 at the age of 28 years old. He won the special and general election against a Republican, Cynthia Flowers, in 2018. So 28 years old, this man entered in the world of politics, and this was his first this was his first role in politics. He didn't do anything on a local level. He started off at the state level. He is seen to be a true force among Texas Democrats. I'm looking at his, because state reps, they're every 2 years. Yeah, they're every 2 years. I know, at least for Virginia. So I think it might be similar in Texas. But let's see, it says here that he describes Christian nationalism as the worship of power. Argue that it incumbent of all Christians to confront the denounced in 2018 guest sermon, which racked up. Well, it was a video that racked up 1 million views. I'm just trying to see what it was, but okay, let me read this sentence right here for describes Christian nationalism as the worship of power, social power, economic power, political power in the name of Christ, and has accused Christian nationalists of turning Jesus into a gun-toting, gay-bashing, science-denying, money-loving, fear-mongering fascist, and argued that it is incumbent on all Christians to confront it and denounce it in a 2023 guest sermon, which racked up more than 1 million views after it was posted on YouTube. Wow. So this guy could be a top-tier contender for being that leader that the Democratic Party needs to follow behind. Clean-cut guy. He loved the Lord. All right. He's a man of faith, but he's also not a man of hate. What I mean by that is that, and I'm a man of faith as well. But there's folks that will turn a blind eye on their LGBTQ plus brothers and sisters out there. Look, those are still people. People are people. And at the end of the day, you need to treat all people the way you want to be treated and with respect and love. And if you denounce the hate, trust me, this would be a much better place that we live in, y'all. But that was interesting. That was truly interesting on that message. Wow, look at the time. I'm over here stretching out this. I was glued to that because I say this with all respect for those who serve local office, state office, federal office, regardless of which political party you're on. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. We need to get the right people elected in the office. We need to call those who want to abuse their power, and like those, Joe Rogan and the state rep was talking about, state rep Tellerico. There's so many folks that want to just stay up there to just keep that power, and that's happening on the left and the right. There's people that want to keep adding more fuel to the hate and distract everybody, because that takes away. This is about the power, the almighty powerful, and the folks at the bottom. They want to keep hold on that power all means necessary. When you bring folks like this state rep that's like speaking common sense politics, he's gonna get chewed out by his people within his own party. He's gonna get chewed out with people on the right. He's gonna get chewed out to folks who are in those elite positions, because at the end of the day, he's like, hey, you're taking away you're taking away my seat. I gotta stay on this powerful, my pedestal up here. I gotta stay up here on the top and not let these young people take over this and that and the other. It's sad, but we have folks that we have to get out of office, and that's the God honest truth. Let me go ahead, y'all. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show.
Jazeera Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazarinLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Well, look, I want to, we might not have time to share a couple of stories that I wanted to mention today, but we'll toss that in on the next day. But I do want to talk about this. So recently, Corporation for Public Broadcasting, funder of NPR and PBS, says it will end operations within months after federal budget cuts. Give me once. So let me go ahead and share this with you all. So this article reported by CBS News says here that the Corporation of Public Broadcasting said recently it would begin winding down its operations after its funding was eliminated by the Trump administration and Congress. The CPB is a private nonprofit founded in 1967 that serves as a steward of funding for public media. It provides funds to 1,500 local public radio and television stations, as well as PBS and NPR. It employs about 100 people. President Trump recently signed an executive order in May instructing the organization to seize federal funding for PBS and NPR. Seize federal funding to PBS and NPR. Now, here's a disgusting act, and it goes back to the question of folks in the media are scared for their job. Folks that work in corporate media platforms, cable media, linear televisions, things like that. They're scared for their job. Why? Because acts like this. Why would you want to cut funding for PBS and NPR? Oh, because once again, when this president hears somebody criticizing him, it's a threat, and it's a threat to not just him, but it's a threat to democracy, or it's a threat to not democracy, it's a threat to it's a threat to to America. So they must be punished. And so let's cut their funding and really hit them where it hurts. Now they have no support whatsoever. Here's the thing. Public broadcasting doesn't just benefit, by allowing folks that might live in rural areas that doesn't get any form of news or awareness, right? You still get the paper, they still get the papers, but that's where they get their news from. Look, NPR is as bipartisan can get. It's the most to say that that's left-wing media is highly laughable in my opinion. I know folks, I have friends that work in public media stations and public broadcast networks, and they're as straightforward, neutral journalists and reporters, and it's real journalism. And on top of that, what he's doing is hurting our youth when it comes to education. Think of the shows that is on PBS. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch Arthur, Sesame Street. What else was shows up there? I mean, those educational cartoon programs. That was needed. So he's just wiping that funding off. Like it's ridiculous. Says here in June, the House approved a White House request to claw back $1.1 billion in already appointed federal funds from the CPB. The Senate upper opposition committee 2026 appropriations bill eliminated funding for the CPB for the first time in over 50 years. Over 50 years. And so the sad thing is, what's next for media? Literally, what's next when it comes for media? That's why it's important, y'all. We rely on a lot of the streaming platforms that we have, right? A lot of these prominent voices. Shout out to Roland Martin. Shout out to Teslin Figaro. Shout out to who else? Shout out to streaming, y'all. Shout out to stream. Shout out to WBOK. All right. Shout out to Black media. Shout out to all those go-to folks that come from the corporate media that is now entered into the independent space. Shout out to Substack. Like it's I wouldn't consider it scary, but it sucks. All right. It really does, because we have an administration that is so corrupt. They are preventing folks from receiving information. Oh, but they're gonna provide an opportunity for their far right wing conspiracy theory networks and things in that nature. A quote I'm about to read here says, despite the extraordinary efforts of millions of Americans who called, wrote, and petitioned Congress to preserve federal funding for CPB, we now face the difficult reality of closing our operations, said the CPB president and CEO, Patricia Harrison. CPB remains committed to fulfilling its fiduciary responsibilities and supporting our partners through this transition and transparency and care. The organization said in a statement, it told employees that a majority of staff positions will conclude when the fiscal year ends it says here on September 30th, 2025. The CPB did not say exactly how many positions that was. A small transition team will remain through January 2026 to ensure a responsible and ordinary closeout of operations. Mr. Trump also fired 3 members of the CPB's 5-person board in April. In response, the CPB sued, arguing the president was exceeding his authority by the case, but the case was dropped recently. Both PBS and NPR, the most high-profile public media organizations, have long been the target of Republican criticism, them and so many others, and have been preparing for the possibility of cuts since Mr. Trump's reelection. The broadcasters receive roughly $500 million in public funding through the CPB. In March, PBS CEO Paula Kerger and NPR president and CEO Catherine Mayer defended their organizations from accusations of bias in testimony before the House subcommittee. I mean, this is like what is your take on this, y'all? What is your take? Because once again, this is literally just a person shutting up his competition, shutting up the criticism that he faces, because he wants everybody to bend the knee and to be yes people, yes this, yes this, yes this, and praise him. He doesn't want to hear anything bad about his administration or him, which to me is like, okay, you must be one of those ones that always wanted to receive honorary trophy, huh? Because here's the thing. What you're telling me is that you are this petty, you are whining so bad, you would force people to lose their jobs, just like you've already been doing with all these other government cuts. You force people to lose their jobs. And my thing is, where's the funding? If they take away this, where's this funding going to go to? Where's the 1.1 billion? Where's that going to go towards? Yeah, we don't know. But I say it again, it's extremely unfortunate. It is extremely unfortunate to see this happening in front of our very eyes. I mean, this has been in existence since 1967. 1967, y'all. And out of all the Republican administrations, all the Democratic administrations, nobody has ever said, "Oh, we got to cut funding from public broadcasts. We have to cut the funding from them." No one has. And there were moments where probably, look, you got to have your critics, but the critics have the right to criticize. They do. If I was president of the United States and Fox News ran marathons of them just bashing me, or if CNN had a marathon of just bashing me, saying I did this, did wrong, guess what? Okay, they have a right to. That's their brand. That's what they're doing. That each side has their way of sharing their thoughts on an administration. But I'm not going to say fire them because I don't like the way they talk about me. No. So I just forget about freedom of speech now. I'm just forgetting about freedom of speech and freedom of press. Like, when is enough, y'all? When is enough? But it's extremely disheartening. I will continue to read a little more with this. There's a clip that comedian and podcaster what's her name? Amanda Seales had shared in regards to this story, and I will post it on my social media, the Arrington Gavin Show. So be sure you follow us on all social media platforms at the Arrington Gavin Show, Substack, Blue Sky, X, as well as Instagram. And check out our website too, www.theagshow.com. Again, that is www.theagshow.com. Contact us. Let me know what you think about this recent closure of public broadcasting, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Let me know what's your take on that. What do you think is next when it comes to media? And should just to say, if somebody more liberal takes over the White House in the next election cycle, should they be a repeat like what Trump is doing as far as quieting the opposition media? Should they put an end to Fox News? Should they put an end to Newsmax? What do you think? What do you think, y'all? Continue to tune to the Arrington Gavin Show. Weeknights available on all major platforms, digital streaming, as well as on the radio circuits. I'll see y'all next time for another great show. Peace and blessing, y'all. Y'all take care. God bless.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.